So I assume this was a joke.
No, I mean, what I wanted to do with this intervention, and there's 3 interventions that I've made in this debate.
Let's just
since
stick to this
the election. But yeah, this was to bring the debate back to the human scale, because there's a lot of talk of very big numbers, a lot of talk of macroeconomic
But why
risks,
would couples break
immigration as if it's a force of nature.
But why would they break up?
Well, couples are our friends, and our EU immigrants are our friends, our loved ones, and our colleagues. And I wanted to know how many couples in London were one partner from the EU and one partner from the UK, and the answer from the Office of National Statistics is 100,000, and that's 1 in 10 of our couples.
Right, so why would they break up?
That's really interesting. I mean, at the moment, EU people can move freely in and out of the UK.
Well, they still be able to.
EU spouses or partners have to have a minimum income.
So this is not a joke. You're actually being serious about this?
Yeah, there are a lot of
I'm
people.
one of the 100,000. I'm married to a Swede.
I think you've got more than a minimum.
Do you earn more than 18,000?
No, but you said so there are 100,000 couples in London where Britain is in partnership with an EU citizen.
That's correct.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
and
I only got married last year. Are you saying if we leave the EU, I'm more likely to get divorced?
I think if your partner hasn't got indefinite leave to remain, there is now a minimum income requirement.
No one has questioned that
any
questioned that any EU citizens currently here will not be able to remain.
Surely, though, Andrew, the whole
no
point
one's questioned that, right?
The whole point of this debate, the fact that people on the side of wanting to leave are wanting to curb immigration, they are talking about
I understand that,
these kinds of people.
But it's wrong for you to. But it's wrong for you to raise an issue which isn't right. That EU nationals who are already here will still be able to stay here, whatever the result. That is covered by everybody in this debate. No one's asking them to leave. It's also covered by the Vienna Convention on Treaties.
Right, OK.
So it's law.
But the rules are non-EU people, which these couples would become as soon as we left the EU. New rules have to be made. And you have to assume that people who are trying to stop immigration do want to stop these kinds of immigrants.
So
we are not talking about...
You're saying that the Swedes, the Germans, the Spanish, the Italians, the French, all of them living here now, they're all going to be deported?
Yeah, and people I've spoken
to
people are very worried that they will be subject to the same requirements that apply to non-EU people when we become not a member of the EU.
I mean, this has taken... both sides have been...
for raising this issue.
Both sides have been guilty of scare stories. You've just gone to the top of the Premier League on scare nonsense, haven't you?
I'm raising it as a concern that's a legitimate concern that many couples do have about their future in this country. They may have to make very difficult decisions.
Can I make a point about the Green
Briefly, because we only got 20 seconds.
Yeah, the Green Party, you'd be much better off. Up in Doncaster, you'd be looking at. They all want out. If the Green Party was a serious party, you'd have been anti-Europe. You'd have made a lot of gains at the expense of the Labour Party.
One of the it was on banking regulation.
We have to leave it here because I've got to go and tell the new wife we're about to be divorced.